just do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, because you cannot plan too much. Let me rephrase that. You can't over-plan when you're designing a house for yourself. But you know, where the well's gonna go, where you're gonna park cars, where your guests are gonna park, planning, 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 think, and then we're gonna look back and say, oh, damn, we should have did this, or oh, shit, we forgot to do that. Okay, we're in the backyard again. Time for some updates. First update will be the bananas. As you can see, we've got some greenery all the way down through here now. We were having the problem with the freezing and stuff. Last update, I told you that they got hit for like the third time on the freezing. But we thought that was behind us, so we went ahead and put the indoor bananas outside. So we put those in here. We got 2 of them here, 2 over there by the truck, by the fence over there, recouping a little bit from the transplant. But they'll be okay. They're getting some new leaves and stuff up in here, so they're all right. On the pups, we now have 13 pups. This one here was growing nicely. Something happened to it, and I found this laying on the ground here. I don't know what broke it off, squirrel or something. But yeah, this one I think has a new pup since the last time we looked at it. This pup's doing well. Got a leaf coming up here. This one here, you can see this new sprout coming up out of this nasty old thing here. We got 3 pups on this one now. This one's doing pretty well. I do want you to notice these leaves are thrashed. So about 3 nights ago, we had a storm come through and it actually hailed, and it just thrashed the hell out of these banana leaves. So the ones that didn't look bad before because of the frost now are all beat up because of the hail. But yeah, the big one, and you can see it's dark over there, there's a chance of rain today. But the big one is popped up. I think the last time we looked at this, we had this one dying out here. That was one that got froze. I went ahead and cut that off. This one here was about this tall, and I commented that this would get a new one out of the inside of that one, and it has. And it looked pretty good till the hail tore it up. But you can see the little curly Q right here. That's a new leaf that'll come up out of the middle of there. You can see it laying in there. This one also sprouted a pup since the last time we talked. This one's doing well. These ones here, I wasn't getting anything out of the top of these, so I cut this one and that one off at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By the next morning, these things had pushed up about 1 inch, so they were really trying to get out, but they couldn't because there was too much dead plant above them. So once I cut them, they just took off, and you can see this, and this was probably last Sunday, I think I did. No. Tuesday I cut these off, and they've popped this much since Tuesday. Today's Saturday, so like in 4 days. This one has 4 pups now. Another one there. This one has 3 pups, and this again is since Tuesday. This is all popped out. So the lesson on that is next year, I don't think we're going to try doing what we did with that big one and letting them sprout out the top. Because it really delayed these other ones growing. Because once we got them cut down to where the new growth was, they just took off. Years past, that's how we did it. We would just cut them down till we saw new growth in the center, and then we would stop cutting them, and then they would just come out. So I think that's probably how we're going to do it next year. But as I said, we've got lots of greenery going now, so it's just a matter of getting these things, keeping them watered. Also, as you can see, I've got another project. I got home yesterday, took this trailer into the nursery, loaded up some mulch. I want to put that in around all these bananas down through here, around the ones over there, and then we'll go around the front of the house eventually. I don't know if I got enough there, but we'll try. Not much new on these other than they got thrashed by the hail. We'll just keep them watered. They'll be all right. I cut a couple of old leaves off them the other day. But yeah, again, the hail just thrashed these leaves. but it's got a new leaf since the last time we talked. So they'll be okay. They're good. And the next update is going to be on the house in Thailand. The last update we gave, we were going to start working on the house plans. So we've gone through a few different designs already. I'll walk you through a couple of those quickly and then kind of get it narrowed down to where we're at right now. But let me get over here, get the camera set up on these designs, and then we'll walk through them real quick. Okay, so obviously this is just a rough, this is the very first thing I did. I just had some thoughts going through my head. I scribbled them down. But this is kind of a Bali style house. If you're not familiar with that, you might want to Google it. But basically in Bali, a lot of the homes there have like detached buildings with a courtyard in the middle, and they'll usually have some kind of water feature in here, like a pool or a pond or some kind of bubbling water. So anyhow, these are, I'm just going to go through these quick, but this is a Bali style house, and I really wanted to do something like this, so I put it down in print as such in this layout. And I'm going to do this quickly because we got a lot of prints here real quick. But basically a main living area, parking area, a master suite, a guest suite, some storage. This actually has an outdoor kitchen because in Thailand most of the cooking is done outdoors because of the mild temperatures, and a lot of places don't have air conditioning, so they just cook outdoors. The other thing I'll mention right now is in just about all of these drawings you'll see an outdoor living area. In Thailand they don't necessarily hang out in the backyard like we do in the West. When they sit outside, they typically sit out in front of the house. So I built this or designed this with a outdoor living area, but it was away from the road, and I'll come back to that later. But anyhow, this is a Bali style design that I did. I really liked it. The other thing I want to mention, I've got these pictures oriented with the front of the house down here, so that's why some of these are sideways. But when I pick them up, I'll turn them so you can see them a little better if needed. But yeah, the front of the house is here. Again, it's a Bali style. This one has a little addition out here for outdoor living that's uncovered, because we'll get to that in a minute. Well, actually I can talk about it now. In this picture here you can see the walls of the buildings, and this is a pass-through that would go all the way through here and open here, and it's got a covered roof on it, a raised covered roof, so airflow can come through here. We'll see some more of these in a minute, but most Bali homes do not have that courtyard covered, but I wanted to cover it because in Thailand it's so damn hot that you just can't stand it. This is what it would look like from an aerial view. Your detached buildings would be here, the master suite and the guest suite, main living area here. This would be that outdoor living area, but with this raised roof like this, so that you get free airflow up through there and out and through the crosswind of the building. And I really got into this because I really liked it. Drew all four sides. This would be the again a side view. This would be from the front with all the roof lines and everything in it, and from the rear. And this would be that outdoor living area, guest area with, this is actually a storage room window, master suite. That would be the opposite side from here. It's covered parking. I guess I didn't mention that. This is covered parking on the one side. This is the same house in 3D, so Sompic could visualize more what it would look like. And here you can see that raised roof that I was talking about. Maybe you can tell it more. And this would be the covered parking. That's me standing right there. This is a rear view. The outdoor living space, raised roof. So the whole idea is to be able to get good airflow through there at all times. And the parking would be right up in here. Another angle with the parking here. But I went to all this, got all this done, and Sampit didn't like it. He thought it was way too big. So I basically scrapped all that work, threw it aside, started over, and went with what I'm going to call the bungalow. So that would be the Bali house that we talked about. I'm going to call this the bungalow. because it's small. I smashed everything down as tight as I could get it. And again, the front of the house is here. This is basically just a living area, master suite, guest bed, and a guest bath. And I believe this was parking here, but very, very small, only 143 square meters. She looked at that and said, oh, that's way too small. That's not what I meant. So I took that same thing and kind of pushed it out and made it into more realistic. But this one only has one bedroom. No, it's got two, sorry. 2 bedrooms. So this would be a master. This is the master suite on this one. The bed here, bathroom here, guest bedroom, and guest bath, and then an open living area, outdoor covered sitting on both sides, and then the parking on the side. Thought that was okay, but I didn't care for it. So I went to what I'm going to call the farmhouse, and rather than go through all the work of drawing it up like that, I just put it in 3D first so she could visualize it. This is basically a home that's a square, but it has a covered, for lack of better words, porch, walkway all the way around the exterior of the building. And I kind of wanted to go to this on any house I built just because of the heat over there. That covered outside walk area will keep the sun from pounding down on the walls and just cooking that house because it gets miserably hot. And I know I'm going through these kind of fast, but like I said, we got a lot of drawings here. So, so this is the farmhouse. So we got the Bali house, the bungalow, the farmhouse. This is another view of the farmhouse with covered parking pulling up here, and this parking could actually go just anywhere around the outside of this. Showed this to her. She didn't like it. Too basic. Just, I don't know. She didn't care for it. So we moved on. And I went to a, I guess I'll call this the, I don't know, the Bali farm. So this is kind of a combination of the farmhouse with the covered exterior all the way around it, except across the front. But it's also the Bali style home because it's got an open living area, breeze-throughs here, but it will not have full covered top. We haven't nailed this down yet, but I think we're probably going to cover half of it and leave this open here. And again, the front of the house is over here, parking here. I think this is the most recent drawing we did, but I want to show you a couple of the versions of what we did. What's the difference in this one? One thing I will mention, those look the same. They might be the same. One thing I'll also mention is this is an outdoor kitchen. She wanted an outdoor kitchen, said scratch the Western style kitchen. So the kitchen's moved completely outdoors. These are half walls around the kitchen. And then above the half wall will be, for lack of better, like some kind of a lattice work or slat work where there's airflow. But so the final version is going to have an outdoor kitchen. She doesn't even want an indoor kitchen. So that's what we got here. This is some dimensions. Oops, sorry. I'll leave it like that so the text is correct, but I'm going to flip it around because the front of the house is here. So if you want to look at these dimensions in more detail, they are in meters, but you can pause the video and take a look at them right here. That would be the front of the house here. The main road, there's a small road going out through the rice fields here, and then I want to put a loop drive in. But those are the dimensions. The other thing I want to talk about is the fish pond. In Thailand, a lot of the families have ponds that they raise fish in throughout the year to either sell at the market or feed the family or both. So Sampit wanted a fish pond, and I'm okay with that. So the area we filled with dirt will come back to about here. And in the next section between there and that big tree, if you look back at those videos or look at future videos, we're going to dig a fish pond in there between that big tree and where we filled it up earlier. So this is going to be the Bali farmhouse, the one I just showed you a second ago. But this is a previous version of what I just showed you. This has actually got the master bathroom in the front, or bedroom in the front. I have since then flipped that around. I think that's where we're at on that. But again, those are the dimensions. If anybody wants to look at those. Let's go back to here. Main road. This is the same print. Still has the master bedroom in the front though. Here's the master bedroom or master suite in the back. So I'll show you something on this one. Again, it's got the covered around the outside. We did add, if you look right here, we added an outdoor storage. It's not outdoor, it's enclosed, but it's attached to this walkway. But it's a storage area to just put stuff in, like outdoor tools and hoses and rakes and car supplies and stuff like that. We did shuffle some gates around on the back of the fence. A lot of the properties over there that the foreigners build have concrete security walls around them, and that's what this is. This a double liner on the outside is a concrete security wall. Now I want you to look at these two drawings. Hopefully we can see them both in the video. But this is two different designs on that exterior wall. Originally I was going to go with this. Full wall around the outside, wall here, and have roller gates here that you could pull shut when you leave. And I like that for security reasons when we're gone, but I don't really like it when we're living there or while we're there at the house, because it really makes it secluded, more like a compound. So I took that and took this wall out of the center of this divider here, pushed these walls back, and then pulled them into the sides of the house right here. So the whole front of the house will be open, and the rest of the wall will remain the same. Like I said, we moved a couple gates around. This would be a black water tank for your sewage, gray water tank, well, probably bring a power pole in over here. I got a utility room here to put the utilities in, so we just have to run power over to here. Access gate to get out. She wants a garden area between the pond and the, I call it the wall, but the security gate, security fence, whatever you want to call it. And then we will put a wire fence around the fish pond. So also might want to note, I guess I should have mentioned this earlier, in these drawings you'll see a little sun here with a mark toward the bottom and a sun here with a mark toward the top. This is a sunset, this is a sunrise. This is the sun coming up off the horizon, this is it going down under the horizon, and this is full sun midday. Sun is actually going to rise at the front of the house. It'll kind of arc across to the south and then come back down on the west. So that's where we're at on the houses for now. Again, this stuff is going to change 1,000 times between now and then, but the more we change it, the better it gets. But I've got to figure out what the layout's going to be. Once I get that, then I'll have to go through and figure out where all the support columns are going to need to stand, and then figure out the roof pitches, roof lines, where they're going to be. So there's still a lot left to do on this, but we're trying to get through this as quickly as possible because we think we're going back to Thailand in December or January. Before we go back, we want to have this fish pond built, maybe have plans to get this security wall put in. But obviously we wouldn't be able to do the front of it. We'd just do the 3 sides and then finish it off once we get the house built. But there's some things we need to get done. We need to get the power run in there. I'd like to get the well drilled, which is why we need to figure all this stuff out as soon as possible. So a lot of work going into those, but I enjoy that stuff. I really do. I always have. But I'm telling you, if you've never been through this, just do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, because you cannot plan too much. Let me rephrase that. You can't overplan when you're designing a house for yourself. Because the more times you go through it, the more time you think about it, the more little stuff you remember. Oh yeah, we need a storage shed, which we decided that last night. We said, oh yeah, we got to have some storage, so we put the storage shed in there. But you know, where the well's going to go, where you're going to park cars, where your guests are going to park, access to the fish pond. I mean, just there's so many different things that it helps to think about ahead of time, because the more you plan, the better off it's going to be. And it may seem like a pain in the ass, but in the end, it'll be worth it, because you'll be much closer to what you want in the end. And I know this from experience, because I went through with that lake house that I talked about in the past. And I'll post that link up here if you missed it. But planning, think, and stuff will always come up. And I keep telling Soundpit, no matter what we decide on, there's going to be changes all the way up to the time we start building, through the entire building process, until the day that thing's done. And then we're going to look back and say, oh, damn, we should have did this. Or, oh, shit, we forgot to do that. Or, I wish we'd have did this. I apologize that the pictures probably aren't as good as they could be, but once we get it nailed down, I will go through, I'll get the roof lines and everything figured out, roof pitches, columns, and I'll draw it up correctly, and then I'll draw the 3D plans, interior, exterior, and we'll get them into one video and share them with you on the final product. So that's what we have for now. Hope you enjoyed going through this. Please, thoughts, comments, suggestions, anything I forgot, comment below.